Now, who can tell me how much distance we need to keep between ourselves and the car in front of us? Mr. Light.
Just enough to get a good draft, I guess.
Look at that, the Australian turtle.
Hey guys, give me a break.
Building champions one race at a time, the NASCAR Busch Series.
A couple years ago, I made a video on this channel discussing the 2006 NASCAR Busch Series season. It's widely regarded as the worst of all time, for several reasons. For one, many upcoming drivers were cast aside in favor of established Cup drivers. In turn, only 2 non-bushwhackers won this season. David Gilliland won at Kentucky, in what was considered at the time the biggest upset in the series history. Then the following week, Paul Menard won at Milwaukee. In the end, Kevin Harvick won the championship by a record 824 points over Carl Edwards. After Harvick's dominant championship win, discussions began about limiting the number of Cup drivers in each Busch Series race, or putting a cap number on how many Busch races a Cup driver could enter throughout an entire season. No matter how big these discussions were, no changes would be made heading into 2007.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
The state of NASCAR and the world itself was ever-changing in 2007. The first iPhone was introduced. Netflix began streaming content. The Spurs swept the Cavs in the NBA Finals. And the Sopranos had their famous Cut to Black series finale. In the world of NASCAR's Nextel Cup Series, all eyes would be on Jimmie Johnson, who in 2006 won his first Cup Series title. Matt Kenseth would continue to chase his second title in 2007, after finishing second in the standings the year prior. Coming off of his third place finish in points, the 2006 Rookie of the Year Denny Hamlin had every bit of hype surrounding him, with everyone believing he would be a championship contender for years to come. While one Joe Gibbs Racing driver had an outstanding season, 2005 Series champion Tony Stewart would miss the chase and end the year 11th in points, and rookie J.J. Yaley would finish a dismal 29th. Rookies Clint Bowyer and Martin Truex Jr. had their ups and downs, but both showed flashes of promise that led them to points finishes of 17th and 19th respectively. A fourth manufacturer will be joining the Cup Series for the 2007 season. After having success in the Truck Series, including winning the 2006 championship with Todd Bodine, Toyota would be joining both the Busch Series and Nextel Cup for 2007. Along with a new manufacturer, the car of tomorrow will be in use for 16 races throughout the season, the first being the season's 5th race at Bristol. A drastic change from the prior generation of stock cars. The design is centered around driver safety, cost efficiency, along with changes in performance. The rookie class for the year has a few young guns, along with some big names from outside of NASCAR. Former Truck Series driver David Rudiman would drive the 00 Toyota for Michael Waltrip Racing. Paul Menard would move to the 15, full-time for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. David Reagan would replace Mark Martin in the Roush Fenway No. 6, while Mark would move to the 01 for Ginn Racing on a part-time schedule. Former Champ Car winner A.J. Allmendinger would join Team Red Bull for the 2007 season. After winning 5 races in 2006, A.J. would leave Champ Car altogether with 1 race left in the season, to accept a lucrative offer from Red Bull to join their NASCAR program. While A.J. moving to stock cars is a big deal, he wouldn't be the biggest name from open wheel to join NASCAR this year. 1999 kart champion, 2000 Indianapolis 500 winner, and 7-time Formula One Grand Prix winner Juan Pablo Montoya will be driving the number 42 for Chip Ganassi Racing. Frustrated with the politics of Formula One, Montoya has shifted his focus entirely to NASCAR for 2007. And given his experience in other disciplines of racing, he's far and away the frontrunner for Rookie of the Year. Now that we've covered the major storylines for the 2007 Nextel Cup, let's check in with the Craftsman Truck Series. As I mentioned earlier, Todd Bodine won the 2006 title. Like Jimmie Johnson and Cup, he's a favorite to repeat in 2007. Ron Hornaday and Mike Skinner will certainly be favorites as well, along with Johnny Benson, Travis Kvapil, and Ted Musgrave. Just like years before, the series should provide some exciting racing all season long. I don't really have much else to add to the Truck Series heading into 2007. The old guard is still holding steady, and they aren't showing any signs of slowing down in the future. That leaves the main focus of our story, the Busch Series. 2007 will mark the 26th season for the Busch Series. Unfortunately, it will also mark the final year of Anheuser-Busch's sponsorship of the series. Right now there's plenty of speculation regarding who will be sponsoring the series from 2008 onward. Subway, Nationwide Insurance, Walmart, and KFC are all rumored to be the title sponsor. As far as the Busch Series rookie class goes, there are some promising young talents. Brad Coleman will be driving the 18 for Joe Gibbs Racing, but only for 17 races. Brad Keselowski will be behind the wheel of the number 88 for JR Motorsports, but only for 14 races. While these two are eligible for Rookie of the Year, it's highly unlikely they will win the award, given their part-time schedules. 3 rookies will be running full-time, however. Kyle Krisiloff will drive the number 14 for Carl Haas. V8 Supercars ace Marcos Ambrose will be in the number 59 for JTG Racing. And David Reagan will compete the full season by making starts in the 6 and 16 for Roush Racing. Yes, you heard that right. David Reagan will be competing for both the Cup Series and Busch Series Rookie of the Year awards. These Busch Series guys can't have anything for themselves. What the hell? On that note, over 20 Cup drivers will make starts in the Busch Series this season. And if you saw the last video, well, you might have an idea of how this is going to turn out. But hey, you never know. The Busch Series regulars only won 2 races last season. Maybe they can best that number. It's a low bar that's been set. I mean, they're bound to beat it somehow. The first race of the season at Daytona had 2 cautions within the first 12 laps. Then it went green the rest of the way. And wouldn't you know it, Kevin Harvick would take the checkered flag. The top 10 would be all Cup drivers. Ah, shit. The next race at California Speedway would be won by Matt Kenseth. The third race would take us to Mexico at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, where Juan Pablo Montoya would become the first non-American to win a NASCAR race since Ron Fellows did it 6 years prior. Although Montoya is running full-time in Cup, this was still a pretty cool moment. The Cup drivers have had their fun. It's time for the Busch regulars to have some success. Right?
The pass out of turn 4, but this day Burton will sail out of turn 4 and win his 2nd in a row.
Dandy, it looks like he just put a whooping on these guys all day long. Every time he gets to the back, he gets himself right to the front. The car's got great looking attitude on the racetrack. It's good.
And the checkered flag flies for the 11th time in his career. Carl Edwards, he goes back to back after winning at Bristol and extends his points. Down the backstretch for the final time into turn 3. Hamlin's going to go low. Can he hold it down there? Kenseth, who's loving that high line. He won at Fontana, doubled up the next day. He's going to do it again. He takes the win here in Texas after spinning early.
Mears is 3rd, Reagan is 4th. Here comes Labonte on the outside. They come to the trial. Remember the start-finish line is here.
He gets it.
And what a run by Bobby Labonte. What an effort by the former Cup Series.
Turn 4. And for the 2nd time this year, Clint Boyer is going to see the checkered flag first.
Hamlin won here a year ago. Get the wins at Nashville Super Speedway. Carl Edwards takes it.
15 races into the season, and we're in the same position as we were last year. The Bushwhackers have won every race so far this season, and at this point, I don't anticipate anything changing soon. I might as well just skip through this one in all honesty. Regan Smith is on the pole. Hey, mark that one down for the regulars. Well, I did go in depth on last year's race for the 2006 video. I might as well do the same for the 2007 race and hope for the best. Plus, Greg Biffle and Carl Edwards are the only two bushwhackers here tonight, due to Kentucky being a standalone race for the Busch Series. And Edwards is the only one in a car that realistically has a shot at winning tonight. After the green flag, it doesn't take long for Richard Johns to bring out the first caution of the night, as he spins in turn 4 on the opening lap. Morgan Shepherd would also crash in turn 4, just as the leaders are starting their 5th lap. We go back green for 7 more laps before the number 7 of Mike Wallace brings out the yellow. After the restart on lap 21, Carl Edwards wastes no time to grab the lead from Regan Smith. A few laps go by and then we go to commercial. As the broadcast resumes, a video package highlights how dominant Cousin Carl has been this season. After last week's race at Nashville, Carl Edwards holds the points lead with 2,460 points. Kevin Harvick is sitting second in points. Now you might be saying to yourself, okay, well, how many points does Harvick have? 1,798. Yes, you heard that right. A 662 point gap from first to second, just 15 races into the season. Anyway, yeah, there's a video package. As the video ends, we see that Regan Smith has taken the lead back from Edwards. Hell yeah, Regan. He would hold the lead all the way up until green flag pit stops. Edwards pits a lap later. Brad Coleman would lead a couple laps before pitting, as would Kelly Byers, David Strimmy, Kevin Hamlin, and Todd Cleaver. After the pit cycle is complete, Edwards would take the lead from Coleman on lap 79. Danny O'Quinn would crash on lap 92, bringing out the 4th caution of the night. Shortly after the next restart, AJ Frank and Bobby Hamilton Jr. would crash. After a restart on lap 106, Edwards would hold steady at the front until a caution for debris 46 laps later. As the field prepares for a restart coming to 46 to go, Stephen Wallace is sitting in second place. He knows how strong Edwards has been all night and all season. He must be aggressive on this restart if he wants any shot at the race win. And as you will see, he was perhaps a bit too aggressive.
Here comes the pace car. The lights are out. Coming through 4. Let's tuck him into pit lane. Send you full throttle.
These cars going. Nice smooth shift. Get ready. Ready. Ready? Ready. Ready. Go, go, go. Green flag, green flag. There you go, there you go. Inside, outside. Big spin behind you, big spin behind you. Keep digging.
Right,
No spin,
you saw
no
it.
spin, no caution. Outside there. Keep coming.
The caution is coming back out for 7th, and you see the damage on the 60 of Carl Edwards, and I think Steve and Carl may have an exchange here.
As much as it sucks for Carl having his shot at winning gone after having the dominant car, I don't think any of the Busch regulars behind will complain about the circumstances. Especially the number 18 of Brad Coleman and the 90 of Stephen Light. Not only have neither of these two scored a win this season, they've never won in a NASCAR National Series. Now, the two of them are in prime position to take their first victory and become the first non-Cup driver to win a Busch Series race in almost a full calendar year. We would see 2 more cautions before the final restart. One would be for a spin by Regan Smith. The second would be for Robert Richardson Jr. wrecking in turn 3. As Coleman leads Scott Wimmer and Stephen Light to green with 16 to go, Light capitalizes on Wimmer being pinned to the bottom on corner exit, and makes his move into second. With 13 to go, Light makes his move to the outside of Coleman, but can't complete the pass going into 3. Light dives deep into the corner and rockets to the lead off turn 4. All Coleman could do was watch the 90 drive away.
Running go-karts in the ASA Series, he's going to bring a lot of pride to Western North Carolina tonight.
We're on the final lap, and Stephen Light will become only the 2nd non-Cup regular winner in the NASCAR Busch Series in the last 52 races.
All right, 1 to go. Bring her home, dude. Nobody in front of him. Marty's got a clear track. Really focused on his driving.
At age 20, the City Financial Ford is on its way as he takes the checkered flag and wins at Kentucky.
Well, there you have it. Stephen Light did it. We have our first non-bushwhacker in victory lane. Was it a fluke? Maybe. Will this be a changing of the tides? Not likely, but maybe. I mean, last year we had back-to-back non-Cup winners at Kentucky and Milwaukee. Maybe history will repeat itself. Just like last week at Kentucky, This is a standalone Busch Series race. As a matter of fact, the Cup guys are all the way in Sonoma, California. While a few are going to attempt to make the trip, their teams already have drivers in Milwaukee to practice, qualify, and if need be, race the cars. David Reagan and Carl Edwards make it to the track as qualifying is beginning. Reagan won't make it in time to complete a qualifying lap, so he'll have to start in the rear. Edwards barely makes it to the car in time, and he'll post a lap good enough to start 9th. That leaves Denny Hamlin, who's supposed to be behind the wheel of the Rockwell Automation 20. He overslept this morning and missed the early morning practice session, so he's having to take advantage of happy hour. So, Eric Almirola has to qualify the 20, and wouldn't you know it, he puts it on the pole. That's all good and well, but if Denny starts the race as planned, he'll be in the back with Reagan. Oh well, it's not the first time that's happened, and it probably won't be the last. In fact, it happened at this exact race last year. When it comes time for driver introductions, Denny Hamlin's helicopter is hovering over the track. The only problem is that there's no place for him to land. Eventually, he will have no choice but to land outside of the track and receive a police escort, but he runs out of time, and Almirola will start the race from the pole.
Crew Chief Dave Rogers if the team would think about making a driver change mid-race. He said as long as Eric feels comfortable in that car, they'll leave him in it. He won the pole, they'll let him win the race.
The green flag flies, and Almirola maintains the lead. Both the number 20 team and Denny are content with letting Almirola finish the race. Denny is so content with Almirola staying in the 20 that he's now on standby to be a relief driver for Stephen Wallace.
We came down here to check on the tire situation. We ran into Denny Hamlin. Denny, what are you doing here in the 66 pit?
I got a message that Stephen wasn't feeling good, so I think they were asking about Eric. So, if they need a driver, I'm here looking for one.
How disappointed not to get in the 20 when you finally got here, Denny?
Well, it's disappointing that we were just hovering over the racetrack while driver intros are going on, and neither the track or NASCAR wouldn't let us land. There's a lot of people spend a lot of time and money trying to get me here, but this is all about supporting Rockwell Automation. They've been part of this Busch Series program with Joe Gibbs for 3 to 4 years, and I think Eric would do just a good job for him. I think taking him out of the car right now would be pretty disrespectful.
A caution on lap 30 for oil in turn 4 would lead to a lengthy cleanup. When the race goes back green, Edwards grabs the lead from Almirola. On lap 50, debris would bring out the second yellow flag of the night. Just 3 laps after the following restart, Ron Hornaday would crash in turn 1. As the broadcast comes back from commercial, well, I think you know what happens.
Just a second ago, under this caution, Denny Hamlin's car brought down pit road by Eric Almirola, giving up 3rd place to make the driver change.
I got to tell you, I think that's a bad decision. They're doing this for the sponsor, I hear. But you know what? This kid, Eric Almirola's been running great. It looks like they're going to go down a lap right now for sure. I don't like this. This whole thing is a real tough deal. He's got to be upset. He's doing a great job out there.
It seems like there was some kind of miscommunication too, because we heard him talking about earlier they were going to leave Eric Almirola in the car, but somebody must have made the decision higher up maybe to take him out of the car.
Yeah, but that is really crazy. I mean, you got a guy running the top 3 doing a great job, and you pull him out of the car just because you're trying to, I don't know what kind of point they're taking.
In a hole here, in a disadvantage.
Yeah, they've killed the team now by doing this.
But in the meantime, they're having all kind of problems getting Denny Hamlin into that race car. They've already lost 1 lap and may lose another one here. While they sit there, they couldn't get the insert out that Almirola used and then the insert into the seat that Denny uses. And, it's not an easy thing to buckle a driver into these cars.
It takes so long now to get these guys strapped in with all the safety equipment and all the headrests, and you got to have all the Hans device hooked up and steering wheel clipped on. There's a lot of work that it takes to get these guys ready to go.
Eric Almirola, who started from the pole, led the opening stages of the race, and was running inside the top 3, was just taken out of the car. All because the team's Wisconsin-based sponsor, Rockwell Automation, wanted their star driver, Denny Hamlin, in the car with their name on it at their home race. The car goes from being in 3rd place to 34th. To confuse the situation even more, since Almirola started the race, he will receive points for wherever the car finishes. Denny Hamlin will receive 0. Normally this would come into play when a driver is injured or dealing with an illness. They may not be able to finish the race in their condition, but they can make it to the first caution flag for another driver to hop in and finish the race, while the driver exiting can still earn points. This happened rather frequently in the past, whether it be from heat exhaustion or injury. It still isn't uncommon today. However, under these circumstances where a sponsor is forcing a team's hand into taking someone out of the car who is running 3rd and having led laps after starting from the pole, It's absolutely baffling. Well, let's see how the rest of the race turns out, I guess.
Race is going to be on here with these lap cars on the inside. 2 real fast cars with the 66 and the 20.
That's interesting. And now third place runner Scott Wimmer in that 29 car. So Hamlin back in 31st place, 1 lap down, and the second car a lap down. Scott Wimmer in that 29 tries to find a way through.
And there's plenty of time for both of these guys to get their lap back. We're only 65 laps. And they just changed racetracks, so I don't think anybody's got any secrets there any longer.
Scott had a little bit of trouble getting his footing under him at the start of the year, but now the results are coming. He says he's got his footing underneath him with the Children's Championship leader Carl Edwards making the 1,800-mile trip from Sonoma pay off so far. Now, we've been looking to find out from someone at the Gibbs team about the call to put Denny Hamlin in the car and take Eric Almirola out. Shannon's been digging on that story for us down there in the pits. What do you got, Shannon?
Well, Alan, it's been about 40 laps since they made that driver change, putting Denny Hamlin in that car for Eric Almirola. We have asked to speak to someone from the team, and at this time they have declined to comment. We'll wait and see if we can catch up with someone later in the race.
GTX lap leaders as we approach halfway, only been 2 of them. Eric Almirola led the first 43. Carl Edwards passed him then and has not been headed since. In fact, he's got almost a 4-second lead on second place, Jason Leffler.
Caution on the track, guys.
Trouble, turn 2. Couple cars involved there.
Picking up a little bit.
All yours. You can't get there. All yours.
Well, you can see driving that car, Denny Hamlin driving that car hard down in the corner, sparks flying everywhere. The one thing they got to do on this last pit stop, though, is to make an adjustment, maybe make that car drive a little more like Denny Hamlin wants it to, because Eric Almirola's been in it all day. This is the first time they've been able to adjust it to Denny's driving style.
They've got the spot all opened up for him, and when the helicopter comes in, a couple cars pull in. And right in the middle of the parking lot. He can't land because something went disarray right there, but he's been a trooper. He has piled through the field right now, and he is on fire. He's up in 8th position right now. Now Denny Hamlin's cleared everything on the outside again. He's going for the front, overhauling everybody.
That's for the race lead, 20 in the 7.
What a job he's done to get his car up here. A lap down, just trying to claw his way back on the lead lap, and all of a sudden here he's the man to beat.
Okay, maybe I'll back up and say, that was a smart decision. Put Denny back in the car. Okay, that's okay for me to say that, right?
Coleman around the outside of Keller. That'll be for 4th place. Final lap at Milwaukee.
I don't think he's going to have enough time, but Wimmer's got the fastest car on the track right now.
Denny Hamlin started the day in Sonoma, California on the Infineon Raceway Road Course, practicing his next L Cup car for tomorrow's race. Got here late, jumped in the car after Almirola qualified it on the pole and left the start of the race.
Oh, yes.
And it will have all been worth it for him.
You got hard, baby. You got hard. We all love you.
Denny Hamlin wins at the Milwaukee Mile.
Good job, Denny. Eric, if you're listening, you did an awesome job, too. Eric, this is your race car, man. I appreciate everything you did. Guys, there's a lot of emotion tonight. We got hardware. We set up pole, won the race. Just want to thank all the people from Rockwell for making it all happen. Track 3.
Despite the record books showing this as Almirola's first victory, he was nowhere to be found in victory lane. After the driver swap, Almirola declined to comment to any media questions. He quietly slipped away from the track and didn't return. After the race, MRN interviewed Hamlin. "I didn't want to replace Almirola," Hamlin said. "I knew he was going to be really upset, as well as he was running at the time. But we have to do what we have to do. It wasn't my choice." Crew Chief Dave Rogers would be interviewed as well. "It was a group decision," said Rogers. "It's tough. Denny really didn't want to get in the car. We really didn't want to take Eric out. But this is Rockwell's global headquarters. We had a lot of Rockwell fans up in the stands, and they made it clear that they wanted to see Denny Hamlin win. They came to see Denny race. It's a bittersweet victory." I guess, albeit by technicality, the records will show that the Busch regulars have matched their win total from the previous season, ironically at the same 2 tracks as last season as well. But in all sincerity, can we really mark this one down as a win?
Here comes Carl Edwards. Edwards, one car length all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. Can he get there? Harvey hangs on.
Gas it up.
Out of turn 4, Kevin Harvey becomes the 21st different winner in 21 races here in New Hampshire. In a Toyota. Kyle Busch trying to hang on and get his first win in 2007, and Kyle Busch will do it and win it big time. And so sailing out of turn 4, Kevin Harvick will become a winner here at the Windy City. Kevin Harvick pulls it off and becomes the first repeat winner at Chicago. 4-year-old Peachtree City, Georgia driver Reed Sorensen pulls it off for the second time. And Gateway International, Reed Sorensen becomes the 13th driver to win in 2007.
Before we check out the race, I wonder what the point standings are looking like. Yeah, about what I expected. The Busch Series is just a little ways away from Indianapolis, so a few Cup guys have showed up today fresh from qualifying at the Brickyard. However, 3 out of the top 5 qualifiers are Busch Series regulars. Almirola is on the pole. Eric Darnell qualified the number 6 for David Reagan and put it second on the timesheet, but he'll have to drop to the rear for the race. Starting third will be Ron Hornaday, jumping up from trucks and making one of his occasional Busch Series starts for Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Starting 4th is Kelly Byers, and starting 5th would be Jason Leffler in the number 38 Grape Clips Toyota, one of just 3 Toyotas in the field tonight. Almirola will lead the opening stages of the race. In fact, throughout the first half of the race, a bushwhacker wouldn't lead a single lap. Eric would lead 87 of the first 100 laps. Unfortunately, he wouldn't lead any more for the rest of the night. After a caution for the 05 of Brett Rowe, a restart would allow Greg Biffle to grab the lead from Deke McCaskill. 39 laps later, a spinning Richard Johns would bring out the caution. The race would go green, but only for 2 more laps, as Deke McCaskill crashes in turn 4. McCaskill would crash again 10 laps later, this time in turn 3. The race would restart with 36 laps to go, with Biffle still out in front. Edwards would take the lead for a lap on 168, before Biffle would take the lead back. As the laps tick down, Jason Leffler is closing in on Biffle after muscling his way around Rudeman. The 38 crew is standing on the wall rooting their driver on, and most of the fans are doing the same. Due to his 50-lap fresher tires, Leffler has cut the deficit from almost a second and a half to just under 3.5 tenths in just 4 laps. With 9 laps to go, the 22 of Josh Wise spins on the front stretch, leading to a restart with 5 laps remaining. Biffle has had a dismal season up to this point, and has led the most laps of the race. He's determined to turn his season around. Jason Leffler is looking to, well, prove that he belongs. Jason has had plenty of ups and downs in his NASCAR career. Coming from a background in USAC midgets, he signed with Joe Gibbs Racing in 1999, before running a full Busch Series season in 2000, also making an Indy 500 start that year as well. After moving to Cup driving for Chip Ganassi Racing, he underperformed if I'm being completely honest. After bouncing around for a couple seasons, Leffler won his first Busch race at Nashville in 2003. In 2005, Jason would be tapped to drive the newly created FedEx number 11 Cup team for Joe Gibbs. When that didn't go well, he would be replaced just 19 races into the season. Since then, Leffler has found a home at Braun Racing. While he hasn't been in victory lane in 3 years, he's regularly been one of the best finishing Busch Series regulars, behind all of the Bushwhackers. Now, after all the peaks and valleys, he has the chance to do what most people think is impossible. He has a chance to dethrone the Bushwhackers. He won't be able to capitalize on the dominant Cup driver getting taken out in a restart, and a Cup driver damn sure won't win this race driving his car. He is going to have to drive to the lead and take it.
From high above, we've just gone back to green flag racing here at O'Reilly Raceway Park. The battle with 5 laps to go. It's Greg Biffle in front of Jason Leffler and David Rudeman in third.
Biffle's leaning on his right rear the last 75 laps hard. I would like to be in Leffler's shoes right now.
Leffler is working the low line. Remember, his tires are 50 laps fresher. 4 laps to go. If he's going to do it, he's going to have to do it soon. And here he comes on the inside. Can he make it stick? Down the back stretch. Nose to nose. Biffle stays rim riding.
Jason's shortening his racetrack up. I'm going to run near this yellow line, guys, and hopefully Biffle can bounce off the wall one more time.
This time by, it'll be 3 laps to go. Who leads at the stripe this time? Biffle still has it officially. This one's going to the wire. Rudeman can do nothing but watch right now. And Leffler gets a nose in front. Can he make it stick? Here comes Biffle right back.
I tell you what, Jason's going to be a whale of a finish. He already is. 2 to go, coming right to the line.
2 this time by. And Leffler leans on him. Gets loose. Still, can he hold on? Leffler may be able to clear him coming out of 2. He does.
He could be waving goodbye to him right now.
So for Jason Leffler, who cut his teeth on this racetrack, running an open wheel, won Thursday night Silver Crown race. He's going to be looking at the white flag. Look at the crew. They can't believe it. 1 lap to go.
Rudeman sitting back there in 3rd. He's like, man, I should have took a couple more laps to have him pass me.
He will get his first win here at O'Reilly Raceway Park, and he will be the man that delivers Toyota its first victory in the NASCAR Busch Series. There it is, the checker.
Great job, everybody. Good call, Lozzie. Good call. Everybody help. That's a good deal. Good for everybody.
Hey, boys, this is all for you guys, man.
Well, there you have it. Toyota's first win in the Busch Series. This would be the defining moment of Leffler's career. And in my opinion, it's the defining moment of the 2007 Busch Series season. While it wasn't the first time a non-bushwhacker won this season, it was certainly the most significant. The following weeks would see more bushwhackers win, and Carl Edwards run away with the championship. At Texas, Edwards would clinch the championship with 2 races remaining. At season's end, the Owners' Championship would be won by Richard Childress Racing's number 29 car, shared by Scott Wimmer and Jeff Burton. In 16 starts in the 29, Wimmer scored 10 top 10s, 6 top 5s, and a pole, but 0 wins. Jeff Burton, in 19 starts, had 17 top 10s, 12 top 5s, and 5 wins. Carl Edwards won the Drivers' Championship by 618 points over David Rudeman. Jason Leffler finished 3rd, 809 points back. 3 points behind Leffler, and 4th is Kevin Harvick, despite only racing in 26 of the season's 35 races. Compared to 2006, there are more Busch Series regulars at the top of the standings. However, the Bushwhackers did run less total races this year. 32 of the races this year were won by Bushwhackers, despite them crossing the finish line first in 33 of them. What a way to end the Busch Series. I guess it's not all bad. NASCAR's in a boom period, and the American economy is going strong. I guess we have something to look forward to in 2008, and the years to come with the newly named NASCAR Nationwide Series. As always, until next time, I'm Jesse King, and I'll see y'all around.
Gonna make this move. Contact. They bump. They love. This one's gonna be close. Are you kidding me?
The NASCAR Nationwide Series.